Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to continue with exercise 5.3, second problem. Now we have the question 34 plus 32 plus 30 plus so on to up to 10. Okay. Now here what we notice is that here we have plus sign in between the terms, right? So what is it actually? It is we called as arithmetic series. Okay, we call it as arithmetic series. So in the given problem, we have arithmetic series. Okay. Now, what is the definition of arithmetic series? So let me give the definition. So when the terms of the arithmetic progression are connected by plus sign, then we call it as arithmetic series. I repeat once again. When the terms of the arithmetic progression are connected by plus sign, then we call it as arithmetic series. That's it, no changes. Okay, only thing there is a connection, there is a connector, that is plus sign will be there in between the terms of the arithmetic progression. Okay, children. Now let us write down the findings. Here we have a equals to 34, then we have b equals 32 minus 34, which is nothing but minus 2. Then we have L, that is the last term, which is also, I can say it as AN, which is nothing but it's equal to 10, right? The last term. So I take it as 10. And then what we need to find out? So now let us find out N, and also finally we need to find out the sum also, right? So first we will go to find out N. Okay. Let me write in the next line. So we need to find out n question mark, and then also we need to find out Sn. So Sn also is question mark. Okay. We know that nth term of an AP is given by A plus n minus 1 into D, right? So what I do is, let me substitute the values. Okay. Now first what you're going to write. So An, what is the n value? An value is 10 equals. Then we have A is equal to 34 plus n I don't know. N I keep as it is. And then what do you know the value of D? Yes, D value I know it as minus 2, right? So minus 2. Okay. Now I move to the next step. The next step, same thing. So here I'm going to write 10 equals 10, then 34 move to the left hand side, so it will become minus 34 equals to n minus 1 into minus 2. Okay, then again, now what happens? 10 minus 34 will give you minus 24, right? So it is minus 24 equals to n minus 1 into minus 2. Okay, next I'm going to cancel off this minus sign. So we can cancel here. Let me show you how to cancel it. So just we do cancellation here. So the negative sign is removed. Okay. Now what we get is 24, and also we can do the cancellation here also. This 2 and 24 can be cancelled. So it goes how many times here? 2 ones are 2 12s are, right? So that means let me write it. So 12 equals n minus 1. Okay. Or what is n is equal to? So that means n is equal to 12 plus 1, which is nothing but 30. Right, children? Now let me find out S13. Okay. So to find S13, Now here we are going to use this formula. Which one? Sn is equal to n by 2 into a plus l. Okay, where l is the last term. Now let me write again this formula. Okay, and then I will show you the substitution. So now, since I need to find out S13, I put n is equal to 13 here. So let me put here 13, here also 13. And what is the value of A? A value is how much? So A value is, A value is 34, right? So A value is 34. And then what is the value of L? So L is nothing but the last term, right? So that means here we need to put the L as 10. Okay. Then the next step, let's see, it's equal to 13 by 2, 34 plus 10. It is nothing but 44. So 44. Okay. Or I get what? So then we get equals to 13 into 22. Okay. Or we get it as 286. It's equal to 286. Right? Now we shall move on to the third problem. -5, -8, -11, so on to -230. Okay. Now here, what is A value? A value is -5. And D value, what is D value? We have second term and first term, that is -8 minus of -5. So note this, note this thing, okay? So -8 minus of -5. Now what we get? Now that means -8 plus 5, that will give you -3, okay? Right? So then what we get? So D is equal to -3, right? Next, what is AN value? So next we need to find out AN and L. What is AN and L? It is -230. Okay, so AN and L will be -230. And then what is the value of N? So N is equal to question mark. And then we have Sn. So what is Sn value? AN Sn also we need to find out. So I put Sn as question mark. Okay. Next, as usual, we are going to write the nth term of the AP formula, which is nothing but An is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. Okay. Next, I am going to substitute An with -230. So -230 equals A value. Do you know the value of A? It is -5, correct? So -5 plus, do you know the value of N? N we don't know. So we keep it as it is, N minus 1 into D value. What is the value of D? D is -3. So I write -3. Okay. Then the next step, I write -230 equals to, and then here -5, if I move to the left hand side, it becomes +5. So -230 plus 5 equals to n minus 1 into -3. Okay. Then next step, I write it as -230 plus 5 will be -225, right? So write -225 equals n minus 1 into -3. Okay. Now see what we are going to do. We are going to do the cancellation, right, children? So let's do the cancellation. So here I'll do the cancellation. See, first thing I'm going to cancel off the negative sign, right? And then 3 ones are 3. How many times it goes? So 3, 3 sevens are 21. 3 sevens are 21. 3 fives are 15. Right? So that means I get what? So in my next step, it is nothing but 75 equals n minus 1. Okay. Or what is n value is equal to? I get n value is equal to 75 plus 1, right? Which is nothing but 76, right? And then I need to find out yes 76. So let us do here yes 76 to find. So here we are going to use the formula Sn is equal to a plus n by 2 into a plus l, where l is the last term. Okay. Now again, now I write down the same formula, no changes, but here I'll show you the substitution. So what is n here? N I put it as 76. Here also n will become 76. And what is a value? The a is the first term, which is nothing but minus 5. So put it as minus 5 here. And then what is the value of L? So L value, the last term, right? L is minus 230. Okay. So here L value, we get it as, we take it as minus 230. So let me put it in bracket better. Okay. Then I write it as, so 76 by 2 is how much? 38, right? So it's equal to 38 minus 5 minus 230. It is nothing but minus 235, right? Into minus 235. This nothing but you will get what? So if you multiply it, you get minus 8930 equals minus 8930. Now I move on to the next question. Third main. Given A is equal to 5 in an AP, given A equals 5, D equals 3, N equals 50, find N and Sn. Okay. So we are going to write the formula of nth term of AP. Is nothing but N is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. Okay. Then I write what is the N value? The N value is, so here we are going to substitute. So N value, what is the N value? It is 50, right? So we'll write on the findings better. Okay. Before that. Oh, here already given, right? So now I write A value as 50 equals to A value is how much? 5 plus, and then N I don't know, N I keep as it is, into D. D value is 3. Okay. Then I write it as, so 50 minus, we write it as 50 minus 5, because 5 is transposed to the LHS, we get minus 5 equals N minus 1 into 3. Okay. Or we get it as 45 equals n minus 1 into 3. Okay. So that means I can do the cancellation here. Let me show you that. So 3 ones are 3. How many times? 15s are, because 53 is 45, right, children? So I'm going to do the cancellation. Then in my next step, I write it as 15 equals n minus 1. Okay. Or I get n is equal to 15 plus 1, which is nothing but 16. Okay. Next, we need to find out Sn. Sn is nothing but S16, right? So we write the formula. Let us write the formula here in my next page. Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 to d. Okay. Now I need to find out S16. So take down the same formula here. And then Put n as 16 here because we need to find a as 16, that's why. So I just put it as 16. And what is a value? A value is nothing but 10, right? So here a value. What is a value? We have a value is 5, and then n value is 16 minus 1 into d value. What is d value? It is 3. So d value is 3. Or 16 by 2 is how much? 16 by 2 is 8. So equals 8 into 10 plus 15, 3 is a, so 16 minus 1 is 15, 15 into 3. So let me write it 50 into 3. Or it's equal to, or 8 into, so bracket open, 10 plus 45. So 10 plus 45 is nothing but, I write it as 8 into 55. So 8 into 55 is nothing but, so 440 is equal to 440, right? Next, we have given a equals 7, a 13 equals 35, find d and s 13. Okay. So let's write the formula. We know that yes, n term of AP is given by a n is equal to a plus n is equal to d, right? So now I write a 13. So put n as 13. So here I would put 13. What is a value? It is 7. N value is 13. And do you know the value of d? I don't know, right? So write it here. So A13 value, you substitute 35. So 35 equals 7 plus, what is 13 minus 1? It is 12. 12 into D. Then we have, so 35 minus 7 equals to 12D. Okay. Then it means now 35 minus 7, or it's equal to, so 35 minus, how much it is? 28, it will be 35 minus 1 is 28 equals 12D. Then we have D equals 28 by 12, or it's nothing but D equals, so it is how much? 7 by 3, because can do the cancellation. Let me do the cancellation here. So it is 4 sevens are 4 threes are. So we have D is equal to 7 by 3. Next, we need to find out S13, right? Now we know that Sn is equal to n by 2 into a 2a plus n minus 1 to d, right? Now I write find out S13. So say I take the same formula here. Excuse me. Put n as 13 here. Here also 30. What is A value? A value is 7, right? So A value is 7. See here, A value is 7. Then we have N as 13. 13 minus 1 into D value. D value is 7 by 3, right? So take that 7 by 3. In my next step, it's equal to, so then we have 13 by 2. So 13 by 2 into, bracket open, 2 7 is how much? 14 plus 12 into 7 by 3, or it's equal to, so we get how much? So we have 13 by 2 into, so here 3 and 12, it gets cancelled, right? My step, let me cancel it. 3 ones are 3, 4s are, okay? So that means we get 28 there. So here we get 14 plus 7 4 is 28, bracket close. And then next step, write it equals to 13 by 2. Then 14 plus 28 is 42. Okay. And then here I write it in my next step, it will be 42 by 2 is nothing but 21. So you get it as 13 into 21, or it's nothing but 273 equals to 273. Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to continue with arithmetic progression exercise 5.3, third problem. So here we are given A12 is 37, D equals 3, find A and S12. Okay. So now we're going to take the formula An is equal to A plus n minus 1 into D. So let me take that formula. And then in my next step, I'm going to write A12. Okay. So for that, I'm going to copy the same formula here. And then, so here I write A12. A12 is equal to A plus 12 minus 1 into D. D value is how much? D value is 3, right? So I'm going to write 3 here. In my next step, it's equal to, then what I write is A12 is how much? Here A12 is 37. So let me write it. So 37 equals, then we have A plus, so A plus 11 into 3 into 3. Or we have 37 equals A plus 33, or we have, it's equal to, or we can write A equals 37 minus 33. We have now A equals 4, right? 37 minus 33 is 4. In my next step, I'm going to consider Sn formula. So we know that Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, right children? So now for that, I'm going to take S12. Okay, let me write S12. So I copy the same formula here, put n as 12 here, again n is 12. And then what is the value of A? A is 4. So let me write A as 4. And then we have n as 12. 12 minus D value is 3. Okay. So it's equal to, we get it as 12 by 2. So 12 by 2 is how much? It is 6. Then bracket open, we have 2 4 is 8. 8 plus 11 into 12 minus 1 is 11. 11 into 3 is 33. So it's 33. Or we can write it as, it's equal to 6. Then we have bracket open, 33 plus 8 is 41. Okay. Or it's equal to, we have 41 into 6 is 246. Right. Okay, children. Now I move on to the next problem. Okay. The fourth problem, we are given A3 is equal to 15, that is third term is 15. Yes, and the sum of first 10 terms is 125. We need to find D. D is a common difference, and A10 is the 10th term. We need to find out. Okay. Again, I'm going to consider the formula. N is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. Okay. In my next step, what I do is I'm going to write A3. Okay. So again, I take the same formula here. I'll show you the substitution. Okay. So we have A3 equals to, then A plus, then here N, I'm going to write it as 3 minus 1 into D. Okay. Or we have A3 value is how much? It is 15, right? So I'm going to write it as 15 equals A plus 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2D. Okay. So now this is our equation 1. Okay. Now I'm going to take the SN formula. So we have SN formula as n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 to d. Okay. Now I will take S10. Okay. So instead of n, you just replace it with 10. Okay. So I take the same formula here. Then, so n, I replace it with 10. Okay. Again here also with 10, and then 2a. So a, I don't touch, let it be as it is. And then n value, it is 10. Okay. And this I will write as, what is S10 actually? Here S10 is 125. So let me write it, 125 equals 10 by 2 is 5. 5 bracket open, 2a plus 90 bracket close. Okay. Now here what we can do is we can cancel out this 5 and 125. So I cancel it. I get it as 25, because see, I show you the cancellation, how it goes. Let me show you. So here 5 ones are, then we have 5 25s are. Okay. And then next what I do is equals to 2a plus 90. And put it as equation 2. Okay. Now we use substitution method to solve 1 and 2. So here I'm going to use a substitution method. Okay. So for that, what I do is, from equation 1, we have A as 15 minus 2D. So here we have 15 minus 2D. So here we have, this is from equation 1 we have. Okay, let me show you how we got it. So here we have 15 equals A plus 2D, and I've just moved this 15. So this one 2D, you move it to other side. So when you move 2D to the other side, it becomes minus 2D. right? So that's why you get A as 15 minus 2D. See here, let me put one more step. So you get it as 15 minus 2D equals to A. Or I can write it as, from equation 1, we have equals 15 minus 2D. Okay. In my next step, what I do is I'm going to substitute the value of A from 3 into. Okay. So now substitute the value of A from 3 into. So where is 2 here? I take this equation 2. Okay. This is equation 2. Right. Take this equation 2. Now, what is the value of A? A is nothing but 15 minus D, 15 minus 2D. So let me take that, 15 minus 2D. See here, I'm just replacing A with 15 minus 2D. So that one, you have to enclose it in bracket. That's very important, okay? So now I'm enclosed this with 15, so enclosed within the bracket. Then in my next step, what I do is equals to, so we have 25 equals 2 into 15. It is 30 minus 2 2 is 4, 40, right? Plus, then we have 90. Or I can write it as 25 equals 30 plus 5D. Okay, because why 5D? 90 minus 4D is 5D. Okay, or I can write it as the next step. I can show it as 25 minus 30 equals 5D, or I write it as minus 5D minus 5 equals 5D, or we get it as D equals minus 1. So 5 and 5 cancels, you get it as minus 1. Okay. Now I'm going to put D equals minus 1 in 3. See here. So let me put D equals minus 1 in 3. Where is the equation? Let me show you. So here is equation 3. Let me take that here, I'll put it here, and then I put D as minus 1. So when you put minus 1, make sure that you put bracket. Okay, it's equal to, so it's equal to 52 into minus 2 into minus 1 is plus, right? So it is minus 1 minus 1 will be plus 2. So 50 plus 2, it will be equal to 17. Okay. Now we are asked to find out. So here we need to find out. So A10 also, right? So we are going to find out A10. So let me write down A10. Now A10 is equal to A plus 90. So now A10 is equal to A plus 90. So here value of A. So A value is 17 plus 9 into D value is how much? So D value is minus 1. Okay. I'm going to put D equals 9 into minus 1. Okay. Or we get it as 17 minus 9, which is equal to 8. Okay. Now I move on to the fifth problem. So here we have, now A10 is equal to A plus 90, that is 17 plus 9 minus 1 into 9, 9 into minus 1. So we get 17 minus 9, which is equal to 8. Okay. Now we move on to the next problem. That is fifth problem. Let me take it. So now here in the fifth problem, we are given D equals 5, S9 equals to 35. Find A and A9. Okay, so that means we are given the common difference 5. The sum of 9 terms is 75. We need to find the first term and the ninth term. So now for this, I'm going to take Sn formula. So Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay. In my next step, I'm going to substitute for n as 9. So that is, I'm going to take S9. So S9, for this, put n equals 9. Here also I'll put it as 9. 2a plus n minus, so n is 9, 9 minus 1 into d value is 5. Okay. Or next step, what I write is, so here I'm going to replace S9 with 75. Okay. So 75 equals, we have 9 by 2, then 2a plus n minus 9 minus 1 is how much? 8. 8 into 5 is 40. Okay. So let me write that 40. Or I can write it as, I can cross multiply 75 into 2. So 75 into 2 is 150. I get it as here 75 into 2 equals to 9 bracket open 2a plus 40. Okay. Or now 75 into 2 will give you 150 equals 9 bracket open 2a plus 40. Okay. And then next what I do is I'm going to multiply this 9 with 2a and 40. So I get it as 18a, 18a, 9 4 is 36, 360. Okay. Or I get it as, so now in my next step, I transpose 360 to the left hand side. So that means I get 150 minus 360 equals to 18a. So that means now 150 minus 360 will give you minus 210. So minus 210 equals, we have 18a. So minus 10 or minus 210 is equal to 18a. Or we have a equals minus 210 by 18 minus 210 by 18. Or we can do the cancellation. So here when we do the cancellation, we can get the, so we can do this. So let me show you cancellation. 6 3 is a, we have, then we have 6 3 is a 18 again here also, and then 5 is a, okay. So minus 35 by 3 will be the answer. Let me show equals to, we go for next step, or a equals minus 35 by 3. Okay. So this is the value of a. And then next what I do is I'm going to consider a in formula. Okay. Now here in a in formula, what I do is I'm going to find out a9. Okay, so here we need to find out A9. So I'm going to find out now A9. So A9 is equal to A plus 8D, which is equal to A value is minus 35 by 3 plus 8 into D value is how much? D value is 5, which is nothing but minus, minus 35 by 3 plus 40. Okay. Or it's equal to, we get it as do cross multiplication. So let us do cross multiplication. Denominator will have 3, numerator will have, so minus 35 plus 40 is 40 to 3 is 120. Okay, so minus 35 plus 120. Or in my next step, I can write A9 as A9 equals, so we get it as 85 by 3 because 120 minus 35 is 85. So we get it as 85 by 3. Now I move on to the next problem, sixth problem. Given A equals 2, D equals 8, Sn equals to 90, find N and An. Okay. Now here we have the Sn formula. Sn formula is N by 2 into 2A plus N minus 1 into D. Okay. Now I'm going to substitute for Sn as 90. 90 equals, and then N value we don't know. So let it be as it is, N by 2. Okay. And then bracket open, 2 into A value we know it as 2. So just write it as 2 plus N minus 1. Bracket close, and then we know the value of D also. D value is 8. I just close the bracket. Okay. Or what we can do is, in my next step, I can do cross multiplication. So you get 90 into 2 equals N into bracket open, 2 2 is 4, 4 plus N minus 1 into 8. Okay. Or we can write it as 90 into 2 is how much? 180. So 180 equals N bracket open, 4 plus 8N minus 8 bracket close. Okay. Or we can write it as 180 equals to, we have N into bracket open. So 8N minus 4, right children? Because 8N minus 8 plus 4, it is minus 4. Or we have 180, then I write it as 180 equals N into 8N will give you 8N square. So we have 8N square, then minus 4N. Minus 4N. Or if we transpose all to the right hand side, okay. Now I make sure that all of them should be positive. So that's why 180, if I shift it to the right hand side, we get like this here. We get 0 equals 8N square minus 4N minus 180, right? Or this can be written as, you can write this as 8N square minus 4N equals to 0. Okay, children. Now I'm going to divide throughout by 4. So let me divide throughout by 4. See, this one is very important. Why? Because if you try to divide, no, what will happen is that the coefficients size will reduce. So it will be easy for you to factorize. But that's the reason better if you just see if all of them are divisible by the same by the same number. So now here 8, 4 and 180 are all divisible by 4. So just try to divide it and get the answer. Now upon dividing by 4, we get how much? So now let me take it and show you how it is done. I divide it. Or I write it as, here we get it as 8 will become 4. 8 will become 2 because 8 divided by 4 is 2. And then 4 will become 1. Okay. And then 180. So 180 will change to 45. Right. 45. Because 4 4 is 16, 2 is a reminder, 2 0, 4 5 is 20. So 2n square minus n minus 45 equals to 0. Okay. Or now we can do the factorization. So let us divide it. Now let us see how we can do this. 2n square into 45. Now we get it as 90n square. Now minus indicates subtraction. So that means you must factorize this 90. You must split this 90 into two parts so that upon subtraction of those two factors, you should get the answer as minus. Okay. So let me do that. Now here it will be 10 into 9 because here minus 10n plus 9n will give you minus n. Okay. So let me do that. Now we have 2n square. So I take this 2n square minus 10n. Okay. Then plus 9n plus 9n and then minus 45 equals to 0. Okay. Or what we could do is, I'm going to write down the common factor. In the first two terms, we have 2 as a common factor. So let me write that 2n into n minus 5. Okay. Plus, again, I'm going to take out 9 as factor. 9 minus 9 5 equals to 0. Bracket up. Now, the next step. Now we have 9 minus 5, 9 minus 5. Correct? So we're going to write 9 minus 5, n minus 5 as factor common. And then here I'm going to write 2n plus 9 equals to 0. Okay. Or in my next step, I write it as n minus 5 equals to 0 or 2n plus 9 equals to 0. Or we can write it as n equals 5 or n equals minus 9 by 2. Minus 9 by 2. Now here, n cannot be fraction and also it cannot be negative, right? So that's the reason. So since n cannot be fraction or n cannot be negative, we take n is equal to 5. Okay. And then I'm going to find out a5. So let me write down that. So here they ask you to find out find the value of n. So n we have got. Okay. Now we need to find out a5 also. An means, so let us find out a5. So we are going to write the formula an is equal to a plus n minus 1 to d. Or now I'm going to write instead of n, replace it with 5. And a value is 2 and n is 5 and d value is 8, which is equal to 2 plus 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 into into 8, okay, which is equal to, we get it as 2 plus 32, which is equal to 34. That's your final answer. Now go on to the next problem, 7th problem. Now here given a equals 8, an equals 62, Sn equals 210, find n and d. So we're going to take the formula Sn is equal to n by 2 into a plus n. Okay, see here. Now why we have taken this formula? So now here we have the last, so we have this form, Sn also we are given, right? Sn is given, the first term is given, right? So we can use this formula. Now in my next step, let us take down the same formula here, okay? Now Sn you replace it with 210, okay? And then n by 2, okay, into a you have, a value is how much? A is 8. And an is the last term, right? Last term is given to be 62. So let us replace it with 62. Okay. See, that's why you must see which formula to be used for Sn here. So here I use the another formula for Sn. Okay. And then in my next step, I write 210 into 2. Okay. Into 2 equals to n. And then n into 78 plus 62 is 70. So write it as 70. Or I can write it as n is equal to 210 into 2 by 17. Okay. 210 into 2 by 70. Do the cancellation. 71s are 73s are. So that means you get n as how much? N is equal to 6. N equals 6. Right? Next, what we need to find out. Now here, we need to find out, next one we are going to find out is, we need to find out d also. Okay. For this, I'm going to take the an formula. So let us write the an formula. And next, what I do is I'm going to take an as 62. Okay, 62 equals a value. A value is 8 plus n is how much? N I'm going to write it as 6. 6 minus 1 into d. D we need to find out. Okay, or I can write it as, we can write it as 62 minus 8 equals 5d. Or we can write it as 62 minus 8 is 54. 54 equals 5d. Or we can write it as d equals 54 by 5. D equals 54 by 5. Okay. I move on to the next question, 8th problem. Okay. So here given an equals 4, d equals 2, Sn equals minus 14, find n and a. Now we are going to consider an formula. An is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay. Or what I do is an value. So let us replace it. Okay. Take down the same formula here. And I show you substitution how we do. So an I replace it with 4. And then a plus n minus 1 into d value is 2. Okay. Or what we do is, in my next step, I write it as 4 equals, here we have a plus 2 into n is 2n minus 3. Okay, or we can write it as this minus 2, transpose it to the left hand side. You get it as 4 plus 2 equals a plus 2n. Okay, or this you get it as 6 equals a plus 2n. Now I'm going to call this as equation 1. Okay, then we have Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 d. Okay, I take this formula, copy again this formula, just show you. Now Sn value. So Sn value is how much? Minus 14. So I write it as minus 14, and then n by 2 keep as it is. Okay, and a plus, here we have the last term. Okay, so L is the last term here. Okay, now do you have the last term? That is the an value, it is 4, correct? So let me take it as 4. Okay, or I write it as minus 40 into 2 cross multiply equals to n bracket open a plus 4. Okay, or in my next step I write it as minus 28 equals, then we have n into a plus 4, n into a plus 4, or from 1, what is value of a? See, let me write it. So I call it as equation, this one, call it as equation 2. Okay, from 1, we have a equals 6 minus 2n equals 6 minus 2n. I call it as equation 3. Okay, now substituting the value of a into, substituting the value of a into, so let us substitute it. Okay, so I take here equation 2. Okay, and a value is how much? 6 minus 2n, correct? So replace it with 6 minus 2n. 6 minus 2n equals 4. Okay, next step I show you as minus 28 equals n bracket open. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 minus 2n bracket close. Okay, and then we have minus 28. I'm going to multiply this n. Okay, n into 10 and n into minus 2n. So equals to n into 10 is minus 10n minus n into 2n is minus 2n square. So it is minus 2n square, or we have next step, we have minus 2n minus 28, or this we get it as 2n square we get it as 2n square minus 10n minus 28 equals to 0, or dividing throughout by 2. Okay, now we get it as n square minus 5n minus 14 equals to 0. Now we're going to factorize it. Okay, so I'm going to multiply here n square and 14. Okay, then we get it as 14 n square minus 14 n square. Minus indicates subtraction. That means I must choose a factor such that upon subtraction only you must get the middle term. So 7 2s are 14. Put n and n here. Minus 7n plus 2n. Okay. Or we can write it as n square minus 7n plus 2n minus 14 equals to 0. I'm going to erase this one. Okay. We can write it as, now we can take out n as common. Let me write it, n into n minus 7 plus 2 into n minus 7 equals to 0. Or n minus 7 we can take out commons here. We have n minus 7 here also, n minus 7 here also. So let me write that. N minus 7 into n plus 2 equals to 0. Okay. Or what we write? Next step, I can write it as equate each of them into 0. So n minus 7 equals 0 or n plus 2 equals to 0. Okay. Or I get n equals to 7 or n equals to minus 2. Okay. Now we can write the conclusion. Since n cannot be negative, we take n is equal to 7. Okay. Or next what I do is I'm going to put n equals to 7 in 1. So now put n equals 7 in 1. Okay. So where is equation 1? Let us take that equation 1 here. Okay. Now n I'm going to replace it with 7. Okay. Or this will give you how much? My next step, I write 6 equals a plus 14. Okay. Or you can get it as 6 minus 14 equals to a. Or this means that you get a as how much? So you get a equals minus 8. Okay. Now I go for the next problem. Ninth problem, given a equals 3, n equals 8, s equals to 192, find n. Now for this, I'm going to take the Sn formula. Sn is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Okay. Now in my next step, I replace this Sn with 192. So replace Sn with 192. 192. And then n value is 8. So replace it that n by 8 by 2 into 2a. A value is 3. So replace it with 3. And then n again it is 8. Replace it. And then d value. D value, let it be as it is. Okay. Or I write it as 192. Okay. Equals to 8 by 2 is how much? 4. Bracket open. 2 3 is 6. 6 plus. And then 8 minus 1 is 7. So it is 7d. Bracket close. Or what we can do is we can do the cancellation. 192 and 4. It goes how many times? It goes 48 times. Okay, so I write it as 48 equals 6 plus 70. Because 4 and 192 and 4. When you divide 192 by 4, you get 48. Okay. Then we can do the subtraction here. I get it as 48 minus 6 equals to 70. Or this will give you 42 equals 70. Or we get D equals 7 on the 7 6. So that's why D will be equal to 6. Okay. Now I go for the 10th problem. Given L is equal to 28, S is equal to 144, and there are total 9 terms. Find A. Okay, so there are total 9 terms means N equals to 9. Okay. Now we have the formula. Sn is equal to N by 2 into A plus L, where L is the last term. Now why taken L? Here they clearly mentioned L equals 28. That's why. Okay. So take that formula. So again, I consider the same formula here. Replace Sn with 144. 144 equals N, I write it as 9, 9 by 2 into A plus, then we have 28. Okay, so replace it with 28. Or I can write it as, my next step, I write it as 144 into 2 equals 9, bracket open, that is A plus 28. Let me write it. Okay. Or I write it as 144 by 2 divided by 9. Okay. So let me write that step. So we get it as 144 by 2. 9 comes down equals to A plus 28. So 9 ones are 9 16s are 69 is 144. Okay. So 16. Let me show the cancellation here. How I do. 9 ones are 9 16s are. Okay. Then we get 16 twos are 32. Okay. 32 equals A plus 28. Or we get A equals 32 minus 28. Or we get A equals 4. Get A equals 4.